Working with scenarios. The scenario is the container in History in Motion that groups events, timelines, and time formats into one unit. You can have as many scenarios as you wish and can move between them to view or edit them. In this video, we'll cover manipulating scenarios by editing, opening, saving, copying, renaming, and deleting them. Here's the scenario of Grant's trip to West Point in 1839. To edit it, click on Edit, Scenario. This will bring up a pane which will show us a number of things that we can edit, including the scenario name. So let's just change that to Grant's 1839 trip. We can change the copyright, the default era and time zone, which if we change them will take effect as the default for any future events that we create. We can change the historical map if we want. It shows us the start time and the end time of the scenario and when the scenario was created, last opened, and last edited. Another thing we can do while editing a scenario is to change the appearance of the map when the scenario is opened. So to demonstrate that, let's zoom in just a little bit and move the map over so that what appears in the center is the area of Grant's hometown. So let's save that. Notice, by the way, that the title has changed now to what we had renamed the scenario to be. To show that this reappearance of the map, this new appearance of the map has taken effect, let's open another scenario and then come back to this one. So I'll do a File, Open, and I can choose which scenario I want to open. So let's go to Fall of the Roman Empire. Let's open that. There we are. And now let's open the Grant scenario again. There it is with its new name. The reason it takes a few seconds to open the scenario is because History in Motion is recalculating all the animation of the detail of that trip up the Ohio River. So here we are with the new view of the Grant scenario. So now let's talk about saving a scenario. To understand this, we need to understand the distinction between two different copies of the server, copies of the scenario that History in Motion maintains. One copy is a copy on the History in Motion server, which is in the cloud, in the network. When History in Motion starts up, it gets the copy from the server and downloads it to your browser on your laptop or desktop computer. This is called the working copy. When you create, edit, and delete events, timelines, and time formats, you're making changes to the working copy of the scenario. So if the network connection to the server goes down, you can still work on your scenario because it's sitting on your local computer. If you exit History in Motion or your browser or computer crashes, the working copy is still there with all the changes up to the last event that you saved. The way to ensure that your local changes become permanent is to save the scenario by doing a File Save, clicking on File Save. Once you get that confirmation, it means that your local changes have been copied to the History in Motion server. So the next time you log into History in Motion from anywhere, you'll get the latest copy of your server with all the latest changes. Now, if you've made changes to a server, to a scenario, and then try and edit the scenario or open another one before you've saved that scenario to the server, History in Motion will notice that and warn you about it. So let's give an example of that. Let's make a new path event, which shows Grant going from his hometown in Georgetown to Ripley to catch the steamboat. So let's say trip to Ripley to catch the boat. All right. And we'll make the start time 7 a.m. Leave the end time at noon, style and color, all that, leave that the same. Let's save it. Okay, so the event is created. We've changed the working copy of this scenario on this laptop. So now let me try and open another scenario. But History in Motion says the last set of changes that you made to this scenario haven't been saved. Do you want to save them? Well, I can either save the changes, I can discard them. In other words, this change and any other change I've made since the last time the scenario was saved to the server, or I can simply cancel and go back to doing the editing. So I'm going to save the changes. I can make a copy of a scenario by doing a file save as. So let's call this copy of grant scenario. And as soon as I hit save as, note that this title up here will change. Okay, there it is. So this scenario, this copy scenario has been saved to the server. And if I do a file open, I can see that it's now listed in the list of scenarios for this user, Ed Gibbon. All right. So let's cancel that. To delete a scenario, I go to Edit, Scenario, choose a scenario. In this case, I'll choose this copy, and then click Delete. Now it'll ask me to confirm the delete because once I've deleted it, it's gone. It's gone from the server. It's gone from the local working copy. So be sure that when you confirm deletion of anything that you're deleting the right thing. So let's delete that. Now, because I was deleting the current scenario, it tells me no scenario is loaded, and I have to choose a scenario to open. If I try and get out of this, it's not going to let me. So let's go to Fall of the Roman Empire, and there we are. So this concludes our tour of all the things we can do to manipulate scenarios.